Hey hikers, it's Lee again with Trailside Fitness. This mini module is on the calf. This comes from a much larger self-care program that I put together for hikers. Has a lot more options for how to manage your calf pain while you're hiking, different techniques and ways you can do that. Lots of different stretches and exercises included in that larger program as well. This is just a little sampler to get you out and get you rolling. So enjoy this module on the calf, and if you have any questions, make sure and reach out. Happy trails. Taking a quick look for the anatomy of the calf muscle, you'll see that we've got some different colors here. The red is going to indicate the medial gastroc, which is the inside head. We've got the blue on the outside, or the lateral head. And then the yellow actually has two functions. One, it's the soleus muscle, which is deep to the gastroc, the big outside muscle. And it also forms with the gastroc that Achilles tendon, which anchors down into the heel bone. So the big gastroc, the big calf muscle here, this inside calf muscle helps to rotate the lower leg bone up and in, and this one on the outside rotates it up and out. And together, every time you bend your knee, those muscles work to keep that lower leg bone centered on the front of a groove that's on your long leg bone. The soleus muscle underneath, when your heel hits the ground, acts to pull that shin bone backward to straighten your leg out. As I mentioned, both of these muscle groups come together to form that Achilles tendon, which anchors into your heel bone. If the calf muscle is tight, it's going to pull up on that heel bone, and that's going to change that plantar fascia tension, and that can oftentimes lead to plantar fascia issues. And if the calf muscle is tight, it can also lead to things like knee pain. So in this module, we're going to go through a few simple techniques to try and decrease some calf tightness, to knock out some plantar fasciitis issues, and take care of that knee health. One other fun thing to note, in the middle of these two muscles on the back of your leg, there's a vein that runs up there. Every time these muscles contract, it acts as a big pump to move the blood back up toward the heart, which is pretty cool. For the soleus, to target this muscle, we need to run our fingers just on the back side of the shin bone. You'll find a soft indent, and that length of that shin bone is basically going to be our target. This muscle is really thin, and this is one of the only places you can access the soleus. So for this technique, you're going to stick your fingers right behind that shin bone and give some moderate pressure. Again, this should kind of hurt good. You're going to work up and down the length of that shin bone with your fingers or your thumbs, pointing your foot up and down as you go. This is going to just kind of enhance the method a little bit. The next way we're going to target the soleus muscle is using the elbow. So this one, you're just going to take the bony part of your elbow, sink it in right behind that bone where we identified that soleus muscle to be, and you can slowly slide that elbow up and down, and again adding some foot movement to really enhance this method. This one is super simple. Drop in a couple times a day and your calves are really going to thank you. One of the best ways to target this calf muscle is by using your trekking pole. So here I just assume kind of a half kneeling position. Stick that trekking pole just below my knee, and the target is going to be from that height there all the way down to maybe 6 inches above the ankle. So we're just kind of working the meat of on the back of the leg there. In this position, you want to lunge forward over your leg and then push your hips backward a little bit. So you're changing the angle of your shin bone to really get some different stretch in the muscle, and this is going to make this technique a little bit more effective. You also want to make sure you're working from the inside of the leg to the outside of the leg, so really working all that muscle on the back of the calf. There's another great mobilization you can use the ball for as well. For this one, you're just going to sit comfortably with your legs out in front of you. You're going to put that ball right underneath the meaty part of the calf, and from here you can just rock your leg right to left and up and down a little bit. This one is nice to really target some of those deeper sides of the calf muscle, because you've got that inside and the outside calf head, so you can kind of target them a little more specifically. You can point and flex the toes here. That's going to help a little bit too, just to activate that muscle differently during the technique. But another easy one you can toss in your bag, so you've got something to work with. One super simple one is a three-way calf raise. So the first position, you're going to point your toes straight ahead, grab onto some dumbbells or some sort of weight for a little extra resistance. I like to do 15, kind of a regular speed, and then 10 fast immediately following. Next position, I'm gonna move my feet outward. Same thing, 15 followed by 10 fast. And then the last position is toes pointed inward. Again, the 15 and 10. This is an awesome way to get a nice little calf workout in, and it's great for that Achilles as well. One last great exercise for the soleus is the wall sit heel raise. So for this one, I'm looking for a specific angle, and it's right around 60 degrees at my knees. Once you get your knees about at 60 degrees with your hips resting up against the wall, you're simply gonna raise your heels up. So this one gets a little challenging, and it does really separate out that soleus muscle specifically. You'll definitely feel this one. This is an excellent exercise to target the soleus muscle specifically.